Hello everyone. The fact that I really don't feel like filming an intro right now is kind of part of the whole reason that I'm filming this video. I really don't feel like doing anything with my life right now. It was like warm for a week and now it's freezing cold outside again and it's messing with my head. And I need to feel warm in my heart, since I can't be warm outside. That being said, if you saw the title of this video or the thumbnail, you know that I will be reading Happy Place by Emily Henry. I am so excited to read this book. I think it takes place in Maine, and it's a second chance romance, and it jumps between her being in college and her now, and it's like this couple, they have like already broken up, but they're going on this trip, so they have to act like they're still together because they're going on this trip with their friends. That's how I understand this book. I went to Maine last summer for the first time, and thinking about reading this book has made me want to go to Maine again. So I'm sure once I start reading it, it will only make that desire worse. I haven't decided at the point of me filming this clip if this is going to be a spoiler or spoiler-free reading vlog. I will have a spoiler-free review and a spoiler review at the end. Let's start reading this book because I need some sunshine and happiness and potentially some lobster in my life right now. The first chapter already has my heart melting, and so freaking excited to pick up Emily Henry again because I haven't read her books since last summer because I went through all three of them so quickly. And the first chapter already has my heart melting, and I literally forgot to grab a pen and a highlighter, but I will need them. I will need them. Oh my gosh. Okay, the whole premise of the story about them being on a trip together and having to pretend is making a little bit more sense now. It's a little later now. Again, this book is just going fantastic. We're throwing so many things off the wall just immediately. I'm 30 pages in and it's like boom, boom, boom. We're setting up the story real nice. I also noticed that the main character doesn't curse full on. Like, she'll give you the first letter, but she won't like. Fun fact, while I was looking for that playlist, I realized that the podcast I'll Read What She's Reading, which if you have never listened to that podcast, go listen to it. They have a podcast on Happy Place by Emily Henry, so that just makes me want to finish this book even more. I'm 50 pages into it. My little pink pen is so cute. Anyways, I'm gonna get to reading. I have no idea when the last time was that I spoke to the camera, but I'm 142 pages into Happy Place, and I feel like, okay, first of all, I haven't read a romance, I don't think, literally since December, like a pure romance, and I think either I genuinely forgot or like I just never really thought about it before, but you know how people say that characters have chemistry? Harriet and Wyn have perfect chemistry, especially when we get to see into the past of when they were together. Oh my gosh, it's like, it's so sweet, and I am also just like in love with Emily Henry. And the way that she writes romance, it's so intricate and thought out, and like it's very intentional. And also her banter, I'm literally underlining her banter because her banter is just so incredible. Like, it's so natural, and it makes me laugh out loud like multiple times. The best quote in this book is, "He's a golden boy. I'm a girl whose life has been drawn in shades of gray. I try not to love him. I really try." What? Where did Emily Henry learn how to write like this? Because I need to be taught. I need to take a craft, like a master class with Emily Henry. Please and thank you. Please and thank you. Okay, I'm probably gonna read some of this before I go into work at 12. It's like 10 right now. So I'll probably read a little bit of that this morning, read a little bit tonight. So yeah, I guess we'll see where we end up. We are currently lit by my street light and by my bookshelf light, but that is because I am too lazy to get up and flip the light switch. So you're just gonna have to deal with this very strange and oddly aesthetic lighting for like 0.2 seconds or however long I trim this clip to be. I don't even remember when I started filming this video, but it is now Tuesday, April 2nd. I have had no time and no motivation to read, and I now remember why I only read 2 books in April last year. It's because I get swamped with schoolwork in April. April's exam month. At the end of April, we have our college exams, and I have so much schoolwork between now and then that everything else kind of goes out the window. I'm 200 pages through Happy Place, which is somewhere past 50%. The lighting is so bad that you can't even see the book. That's embarrassing. But Emily Henry's writing is just so beautiful. Like, I'm probably underlining something every other page. And I know I said this earlier in the video, but if I ever write a romance book, I will study all the Emily Henry books cover to cover, because unfortunately she probably would not teach a masterclass and definitely wouldn't teach one to me. So I will just have to settle for studying her books cover to cover. Also, that being said, I'm really sad because I really thought that this book would be like a automatic 5-star read. This book will not be a 5-star read, unfortunately. But it is phenomenal nonetheless, and I will still rate it very highly. But you'll have to wait until the end of the video to figure out what that rating will be. And now I'm debating on whether or not to pre-order Funny Story, because I waited for the paperback to come out of Happy Place. And even if I pre-order Funny Story, I don't know if I would like save it to read during the summer. I don't know. I don't know. Good morning. It is the Sunday after Easter, I do not know the last time, or the last day, I should say, that I updated. But I know that I was around the 200 page mark. And now I have finished Happy Place. This book took me so much longer to read than I expected it to. I think that dampened the experience like a little bit. It's still like an Emily Henry book, and it's still a book that I absolutely loved, and her writing was just so phenomenal. I have tabbed so much of this book, and like I've underlined like freaking every other page. Her writing is just so beautiful. And I wasn't annotating when I read my first few Emily Henry books, but when I reread Beach Read over the summer, I will be annotating it. So, for my spoiler-free review, I'm going to explain the premise of the book again. You have Harriet and Wynne, and they are ex-fiancés, but they're a part of this friend group that they've been in since college. And this friend group always goes to this one specific vacation house in Maine every summer. And this summer, it's going to be their last summer at the house, because the house is being sold, and their friend convinces both of them to come. She doesn't know that they've broken up, and she convinces both of them to come, and they get there and they're like, oh, we can't tell our friends that we've broken up because that would ruin the trip. So it's kind of fake dating, kind of second chance. I'd never read a second chance before. I think it was really nice. I also finally understand like how frustrating miscommunication can be. And the miscommunication in here, I think, made a lot of sense. They were just being human. And honestly, I saw little parts of myself in Harriet and little parts of myself in Wynne. I didn't 100% relate to either character. However, I've been with my boyfriend for almost 2 years now, so I know him pretty well. Wynne was like an exact copy of him, which was really interesting to read on paper. Wynne is so sweet, and neither of them are just good at talking about their feelings. Like, they're just not good at it. They're both huge people pleasers, which is something that I feel like I relate to an extent. I rated this book 4.25 stars. I actually finished it last night and I slept on it, and I woke up this morning because I was anywhere between a 4.25 and a 4.75. Slept on it and I was like, oh, I completely forgot I had to rate this book when I woke up this morning. So we dropped to a 4.25. That was what I was leaning towards throughout most of the book, but I will say after the 200 page mark, or like the 250 page mark, everything kind of starts escalating and escalating and escalating. And I read the best parts of this book literally like sitting in my office at work with my owner like 2 seats away, and I'm like, I cannot react, but I want to react so bad. So maybe that wasn't the best decision on my part, but anyways, it happened. I think that's all for the spoiler-free review. I am going to insert a few spoilers, or just one, I guess, because okay, I'm going to insert a little bit of a spoiler review here. I really struggled to like Sabrina's character towards the end, because obviously everything was coming out about Sabrina kind of setting up the trip to force Wynne and Harriet to get back together, which was really manipulative, obviously, and I just really didn't like her for a solid like 100 pages, because, and honestly, even when she kept insulting Cleo about like dropping little petty remarks about why Cleo hadn't let them come to the farm, her and Parth, and Sabrina just frustrated me a little bit. And the thing is, Sabrina also had parts of me in her, but I think that also frustrated me seeing it in another character. I was like, wow, I need to work on some parts myself. I did not love the pregnancy plot twist. I think it made sense for the situation that they were in. Like, it was kind of like, oh, like something had to twist, and that was just kind of a really easy one to fill in there. I honestly thought that Cleo and Kemi may as well have been broken up too. with how they were acting, but I guess pregnancy kind of made sense. I don't know. I didn't love that part. And then Harriet dropping out of medical school. I was reading some Goodreads reviews and they were saying how that was like super unrealistic. And obviously I can understand where they're coming from because Harriet's been in school for 10 years probably, or something close to it at this point in her life, and she's only just now realizing that she doesn't know what she wants to do. But when you're living your entire life to please someone else, it's it's really hard to even learn how to see for yourself and see if you actually want something, and it's really hard to take your feelings into account. I mean, obviously it would terrify me if I was in her situation because I'd be like, how on earth am I going to pay back all these loans? But I also understand where she's coming from, and that life is short, and if she's going to spend 90% of her waking hours doing something that she hates, it's worth a few $1,000s, like a few $100,000 to pay back if it means that she can be happy. Oh, yes. I was going to say, and this is also a tiny spoiler for book lovers, so skip forward a little bit if you haven't read Book Lovers, but at the end where we get to there's less than 20 pages left and Harriet is getting on an airplane to fly away and she is not with Wynne yet, that drove me crazy because Emily Henry did this in Book Lovers too, where the characters did not get together until the freaking epilogue, and it drives me crazy because oh my gosh, it just drives me so crazy. Drives me crazy. Like, obviously I know it'll end well because it's a romance, but still, it was, oh my gosh. I was like, why? Like, girl, even I know what you want at this point. Like, come on, get back to him. Okay, spoilers are through. That is all for this video. And if you want more reading vlogs of just reading one specific book, or if there's a book that you really want me to read, comment it down below and I will see what I can do. Alright, I love you guys so much. Thank you for listening to me and putting up with me. And I will see you whenever I decide to post. Adios.